welcome to CATtheMinion Patreon's his September Pisces deep dive reading. It's based on my life purpose reading. That's $101. The main difference is I'm taking before and after oracle cards out of the reading and essentially replacing them with the charms. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this out and explain it while I'm doing it. I've got the Blessed Bee deck by Lucy Cavendish. I've got the Work Your Light Oracle, and I've got the Wild Unknown Tarot. I did clear and shuffle these already, so I'm going to lay out these cards. Disappear for a minute. I'm going to check the alignment of the camera and the focus before I get into the reading. I sort of focused it to here, and okay, so we're taking both of these. And I'm going to fix it after, because we're keeping that one. So as usual, these decks were selected by whichever ones were doing their best to cry out to me when I went to go do this reading. I actually had these sitting on my table for a couple of days because it's been a couple days since I did Capricorn and Aquarius, because I had things and stuff. I had to do other readings that were due before these were due. And I'm trying to get them done, and it's kind of stressing me out because I've got mundane things that are demanding my attention and making me tired. So this is going to be relationships over here. And this middle section that I'm doing is going to be work. The work here, let me say the things wrong. I don't want so many doubles, come on. The Wild Unknown Tarot is going to be potential future. The Work Your Light Oracle is going to be the present, and the Blessed Bee deck is going to be the past for these segments. Why is there so many doubles? 2 fishies, 2 cards. It's probably the Gemini nodes again. Really? There's 3. I don't want 3. Give me 1. Give me 1. It still gave me 2. Alright. No, certainly don't want 3. So this is work. Oh, also for Pisces, this could be, whoa. Okay, there's 3 cards that chucked out. I'm going to take the one that fell on the floor. Challenge position. What was I saying? Oh, for Pisces. So it could be sun sign, moon, ascendant, Venus, if you were being affected by Neptune retrograde energy. If you're feeling like the Hanged Man, perhaps. This last section over here is the overview. So it's a cross section of your life purpose, like your entire life purpose, but like a little slice of it that you would put like on a slide under a microscope. So it's a cross-section of your life purpose that's going to be, you know, highlighted, glowing in the ether of your life for September. Something that's critical to your life purpose that you can sort of, you know, add to your cart for September if you gain some perspective and awareness, if that makes any sense. I'm kind of enjoying this gray, pink, purple situation here. I don't know why there's so many doubles. I was hoping this reading would be shorter. Capricorn took me 2 hours, and Aquarius, I think, was an hour and a half. Okay, so I've got these cards now. I'm going to move that in a minute. Try to get them all in here. Try to tighten them up a little bit. Some of them are almost under the sewing machine. Now, the way this works, the overview is who you are. The work is what you do. It's not necessarily your job, and relationships is how you do it. It's not necessarily like you and your romantic interest, although it could be. But doesn't necessarily only have to be that. We'll find out when we get there. Okay, I feel like this is going to work better if I do the charms after each section, so I'm going to put the box here so that I don't forget. Alright, how much time have I got? I'm going to need a sip of water before I start. Okay. So we have... Ow, my knee. Okay. In the past, for the overview, we have a Blessing of Fire inverted. This card reminds me of the Queen of Wands. She seems very sensual, very strong fire energy. Alright, now it's also that passion energy, that fuel that comes up from deep in the root of our body and pushes through the solar plexus. But this is coming in inverted. With these cards, it means confusion or delay. So we're starting off with this hot Empress energy, but it's not, in the past, somehow inaccessible. And also we have a blessing on a friendship and a blessing on forgiveness. So we go from 3 to 31 and then 14. So there's this idea of we're adding something, right? 3 and then 1 and 3 combined to 4 and then 1 and 4. So I get the idea of stalled out passions leading to some kind of conflict. 5 is a conflict number. But we're hoping to at least get to a point where there's like a friendly communication. Interesting. Blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. So now we have 7. So we have 1 and 3 and 4 and 7. I also get a little bit of the idea of the High Priestess, because we come in with Piscean energy in Neptune retrograde. But we start with an inverted Empress. But if you add the High Priestess and the Magician together, that's what you get. We have 3 and 4 here on these other cards, the Empress number and the Empress number, with 1 and 1 together to the High Priestess. This is kind of unusual. Blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. So I have the moon energy. If the solar plexus is inverted, that's moon energy. I have the moon here, I have the third eye, I have the moon here, I have a crown, and then I have another crown, and then the moon trying to scrape down into the third eye. I also have bees here with the honey. This idea of a springtime, of trying to pollinate something. It's this idea of trying to expand your senses almost to a point where you're having synesthesia. Like hypersensitive. Like you can hear music in the honey. You can hear the owl talking. So, it's 11. It's weird. Okay. These might become clearer with the charms. But I'm going to move on to the present. So we have soul family inverted, so that tells me delay or confusion. Calling your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. But also trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Okay? So it's like you don't think you have anybody with you. But if you were to concede that maybe you could have people, what would you do? And I think this is sort of addressing this lack of passion, right? It's like, I don't feel like I have enough, I don't feel like I have enough passion or abundance to, or security or nurturing to move forward. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Okay, so that's some more of that crown and third eye energy. And then we have don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Interesting. So we have this third eye energy again. And then this idea of somewhat of confidence, but also darkness, right? You're holding back your own sunlight. And you're pulling back the expansion of your senses so that you can try to fit in better. So I almost feel like forgiving yourself for not being yourself in order to gain friends in the past is something that's changing, and that the friendship is to your own higher consciousness. Interesting. Well, which would make sense because Pisces is psychic. Alright. So this is the Six of Wands. We have a transformation cycle here. Now the Six of Wands is Jupiter in Leo. What's interesting is that this butterfly is Neptune colored. And we have the two wings, like two fishes. Sagittarius is currently in the South Node. And then we have the fire energy, Leo, but it's upright. This is the, in the normal card, it's like the celebration, the victory, the recognition, right? It's like at least 15 minutes of fame kind of a thing. And it's like rising up out of the sticks It's like being yourself. People are going to notice you. Trust your flight path. And matching, to go with that, the Father of Cups, the King of Cups. Balanced 14, which is this friendship number here. Also, I see 31 as switching to 13, so we have a death transformative cycle. There is a butterfly here on this card. Plus this 3 is 16, the Tower. So see, 5 and 4 is 9, and 7 is 16, the Tower as well. 5 and 5, 10, 7, 17, the Star. 21, the World. But Saturn's currently retrograde, but we see from this that we're aiming towards when it's turning direct, which is going to be very soon. But we have the Father of Cups. Now notice this is a black swan, right? It's like the black sheep of the family. If I don't, you know, pretend I'm like everyone else, like, or even if I pretend like I'm everyone else, I still stick out. It's like in Sister Act, it's like, that is a conspicuous person designed to stick out. So anyway, we have 14, we have this 5 number pivot here, and then we have 11, which is a divine timing and also a twin flame number, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Just like a universal timing. This is in the near future, or potential future. And then we have the Lovers, so we have another 6 here. So we have this 11 and 11 here, so it very well might be twin flames if that's applicable. But this isn't just the Lovers, it's also healing. But here it's, I know these are geese, but it's like if you are in your own power, you will attract with great radiance someone like you enough that you don't have to pretend to be somebody else. So healing, Gemini nodal energy to go with the Sagittarian nodal energy. Father of Cups, what energy? Oh, of course, Libra and Scorpio. So there's balance and then that transformative death cycle as well. Alright, so maybe we'll get a little more clarity here. Okay, that's uncalled for. Wow, I'm gonna leave these over here where they are, and I'll get to those after. That was like half the fucking thing. So way off on the end here, almost off the table, is this conflict, this buff kangaroo ready to fight. Okay, so I have this kangaroo off to the side, like the, sort of like this conflict is sort of going away, heading for the border. Now, speaking of heading for the border, right, the conflict is walking away. Now here next to don't dim to fit in, I have this cube, which represents like a first expansion. Like the tetrahedron is the smallest, and then the cube, but it also to me represents this idea of the material, right? I'm manifesting my own expansion when I don't dim to fit in. Over here on this blessing on a friendship, I have the microphone. So it's this idea of speaking up, of trying to communicate with other people. So over here, I have all sandwiched together. I have the goose, which the goose, and the honey badger, and they both look kind of angry. And then I have a ruler here. So I get this idea of like honey badger who doesn't give a shit, goose who is quick to anger, perhaps. landing on this blessing for forgiveness. It's like, in some way in the past, in terms of relationships, either with a lover or with other people, there's established this thing of a lack of passion, a ruler out of balance, where we're doing it my way, no, we're doing it my way, and then what needs to happen in order to establish some kind of communication again in a 5 shift pivot friendship with 4, 3 and 1, a new foundation, is this idea of overcoming this need to, be in control of the minute details. Now, in here, going the other way, I have this shoe, this high-heeled shoe, and the yin-yang. Right? What is your soul calling you to do? Well, I'm out of balance, and I want to be in balance. Like, I need to try to get a little bit of a higher perspective. Or this point of, I know I've been trying to fit in by catering to standards, but this isn't comfortable. Oh, wow. I can't believe they all just flopped out like that. I hate it when I get so many. So over here, on this 6 of Wands, there's a bit of Stonehenge, which to me is sort of like restructuring the geometry of a certain place, which is kind of the transformation. It's also extremely famous, and a lot of people want to go there, but it's also in this sort of mysterious. So I might come back to that. Oh, there's a camera here, right? It's like, oh, I'm sightseeing. And then a llama, perhaps indicative of some mountain that's been climbed. We'll see. Now, on this Father of Cups, I have the speakers, which kind of go back to this microphone, right? I'm amplifying my voice. I have this match here, which is kind of like the Ace of Wands. I have this record player here, which could be like, oh, it's like a broken record, but here I think it's like I found my song, my swan song, which is usually death, but if you're transforming, then you will have death, but it's like, let me turn this up and play it over again, like, and I'm gonna light this match and hold it up like Freebird. So this tape is here. This is like I'm fixing something. I'm fixing something that I need to address. In terms of what I'm giving to myself. And, what I let others take from me. Alright. So, this is like the overall life purpose is to get to a place where you feel safe being yourself so that you can move on in your life with authority. And I also have Judgment and then another 6. Judgment is like closing the chapter on something. It's like opening a new book. It's like a final settlement of whatever particular issue is happening. But the gist of it is this overview that's for Pisces that's being worked on is conflict with other people, either to fit in or to have dominance in your own, like, personal relationship unit. Like, if you're in your dominance in your closest intimacy, right? I don't trust you, therefore I'll only be intimate with you if I can be totally and completely in charge. Or it's like, you don't give a shit about me, you're emotionally unavailable. And even though I feel like I need to seek that, I'm going to nitpick it, you know? And the idea is that opening your senses in to your environment, like the earth, and then your inner self or your higher self is going to allow you to have more fulfilling relationships with your guides and yourself, and to be who you are and not just some version that makes you seem safe for other people. So that, and then this potential future here, which could be this, you know, September, happening in September, is actually extremely strong and positive. Okay, so the work, this could be like how, like, details of what's going on here, right? The machinations, because it's not usually just like your job that you work to get paid. I don't think I'm gonna get any extra charms for this section, but if some of them fall on these cards when I do that one, then that's fine. But in the meantime, since like 20 of them came out, I'm not going to. Okay, so off to the edge here, I have the laptop. So, which is funny because it's in the work, right? I'm working from home. I'm working on my foundation. I'm working in my core. I can work from the comfort of my own lap. A blessing for good work. Oh my god. Number 18. So we have this crown energy that's mentioned over here, but now we have a crown, and then we have a kingfisher here. This extra idea of birds and things that fly as like sort of like messengers, and then this manifestation fruition with these bigger blooms here. And we have 18, the moon card, which is that sort of secretive darkness that's like allowing yourself into the depths of who you are and letting your real aspects out of their dungeon cages. So with this, I have a wheel. This could be the Wheel of Dharma. It could be 7, the Chariot, which would make sense because this is sort of a step up from this card. It could be the wheel number 10 with that Sagittarius Jupiter energy. We also have a chicken here. So we have a flightless bird now. We have a rooster, right? The cock of the walk. Crossing to the other side of the road. And going the other way, I have the crystal ball. So this idea of, in the past, you're trying to work, but you're not really sure where you're going. You know, you keep getting distracted by things to peck at, and the wheel is just kind of rolling along wherever. Let's do the crystal ball here. Okay. This thing. Oh, for Christ's sake. Ooh, a blessing on your love, 17. This is one of the few men in this deck. And then next to him, one of the other few male figures, a blessing for support. So we have 39 and 17. So this breaks down to 12, which breaks down to 3 again, which is interesting because it's a knight on here. It should also be the knight. Or the hanged man inverted. So this could be Neptune retrograde. And a blessing on your love. So notice we have this moon shape here, which matches the way the moon is going here. Go from 7 to 17. So we have the wheel 10 completion here, even though this is both in the past. It's like saying it's derived from these. And he's even got a wheel around him, but he's got these horns opening his crown chakra as well. And here this guy's riding a horse. I don't think I have a horse, but I do have a UFO. It's like riding out to the other kingdoms to try to gain support. No, but here it's the same idea as as Trust Your Path, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it all alone. So in the past, in your work, it's like, I need some help. I need tech support. But the actuality of where it's coming from is soul tribe. It might be your guides, but it could be other people. But if you're not shining in your true self, they might not see you. They might miss the synchronicity. Oh, Jesus Christ, look at all these. Alright. So I have a woman here, the feminine figurine, with a Polaroid. And I feel like this is like this Empress energy. In the past, right, we have a Polaroid picture. So we're looking at the past and we're reviewing what's happening in a timely manner, because so we start with the camera over here, right? I'm taking some scenic snapshots of Stonehenge. And when they develop, it's not actually pictures of Stonehenge, it's, you know, how have I nurtured or not nurtured myself in my life? It's like I'm seeing the part where I kind of walked away from myself. These are all together. Okay. So I have Gizmo, and I have this winter hat. It's like I need protection from the cold. Somebody's out to get me. The Gizmo for me is attention to details, which is kind of like this ruler over here between Honey Badger and the goose. It's like I'm nitpicking the details, but here it's like you should pay attention to the details, but don't let the wool get pulled over your eyes. There's something in the recent past that's like a key to the whole thing that's going to help you unlock the blockage here in the, not only in this self-love and acceptance, but in this support that should be coming in from your guides and or other people around you, right? Where are my people at? Well, there's one of them. So we have a Nautilus here. To me, this also represents pastime. And the shape is this expansion of space, right? So we go from the tetrahedron to the cube, and then there's a natural universal expansion that happens with this Fibonacci sequence in the energy. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. And even though I haven't drawn it that way, a lot of these cephalopods have 8 limbs, like an octopus and squid and so on. So there's this idea 17 breaking down to 8, strength or justice, that has to do with you have to sort of come up with this inner strength to love yourself in order to sort of call more of it into you and have this like snowball effect. And that's where it goes from 17 all the way to 39, just like that. Okay. So here's another thing dealing with time. I have the calendar next to the peace sign. So there could be something relevant to you that happened in the 60s or early 70s, whether you were born then or not. It could be something relevant to your life, but it also could just be you want peace with the past in your life. Tune in, turn on, drop out. So going the other way here, I have this rose, which is like one of the ones off of the crown here. And nearby, I see what it is. We have the rowboat. Okay. This reminds me a little bit of Sleeping Beauty. Or not, yeah. Is it Sleeping Beauty? No. Beauty and the Beast. What the hell? It reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. With the roses. And this idea that there's only a certain amount of time. Alright? If I don't find love in this amount of time, I'm going to die. Which is interesting because the skull is over here too. But what really is a transformation of learning to be able to love yourself when you think there's something horribly wrong with you, right? I've got to, you know, hide in the shadows and pretend I'm not a freak so that people will tell me that I'm okay. This rowboat to me represents a lot the six of swords, because there's the guy in the boat sailing away from the stuff. So it's like I'm trying to move away from the things that were causing me mental trauma in the past, right? I'm trying to open up to thinking about myself in a new way. So also going the other way, I have the T and this happy mask, right? It's like nobody's gonna spill tea about me if I pretend like I'm, you know, having a good time. Now I have the squirrel here and a bunch of things going the other way. So I have a squirrel, I have the F-bomb, I have the earth, I have the Ankh, and they stick a fork in me, I'm dead. This is like the 10 of swords. So I go from the 6 to the 10. This is kind of like going through the nightmare. 6. Let's see what I got. 7. 7 of swords. For some reason, the world is 7. 7 swords, 7 continents, right? And that's also in the shape of a round thing like the chariot. It's kind of like the idea of overcoming your mental problems has a lot to do with grounding. 8. I want to get out of this mental prison. So we have this sort of a loop shape here. It's like I need to take control of my life in order to move past this. I need to be in charge. And then 9 of swords, it's like the F-bomb. It's like it's like, fuck this nightmare. And then we have a squirrel here. And I don't think it's not really relevant, except that it's got the same spiral shape, right? If we put ourselves into alignment with the energy of the universe, we'll achieve these same spiral energies that build on themselves. 25, a blessing of protection, right? I feel like if I try to be myself, someone's out to get me. So we have this, it looks like a combination of this woman over here and this guy over here. He's here so they don't get messed up, right? She's like the synthesis between them. 23, breaking down to a 5, which would be that pivot or conflict number, right? I feel exposed. Where's my help? I feel threatened by being alone with myself. Okay. So that's this is all. Now what's interesting is I mentioned swords with these, but this is like a jumble of thoughts, right? I'm trapped in my own thoughts. 8 of swords, well, 8 here, and look at all this shit. Can't get out of my own head. My psychic ability is off, but the messages that I'm getting are all sort of jumbled and hyperactive, right? I've got a virus in my system. I need to defrag something. Okay. So in the present for work, we have yes, just say yes, and then this card, Starseed, what lights you up with Saturn energy, and I think that's Jupiter there, but it's coming in inverted. So we have Saturn retrograde, but this yes, just say yes is coming in the present that kind of matches this don't dim to fit in with these three figures on it. And this is kind of like the Empress split into three, right? 1, 1, 1, total together triangle, the Empress. So it's like, I don't know who I am, but it's like, yes, I need to try to be myself. I'm being pressed by this retrograde energy to do this work, to discover it. Now here I have the ring. This is a hand with a ring on it. If I could hold on to it, holy crap. It's really slippery for a piece of paper. Now, this doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to propose to you, let's get married. It also, in one reading, gave me the idea of Gollum. Right? Because the ring transformed Gollum into somebody that he wasn't originally. Although maybe that was his nature all along, and the ring kind of exposed him for who he was. But the idea of the ring can also indicate to me this idea of fidelity. Right? What we have over here, high fidelity. And then we have the lovers. So here I get this idea of say yes to being extremely true to yourself. The sea turtle on here. Let's see what this is. Okay, so we have unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives, which is what I was trying to get at with that ink. And then we have the moon energy here again. This play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. With this sun energy here, and trying to get in touch with the emotions. So with this inverted, it's like I'm struggling to feel like I can relax in the present while I'm trying to figure out how to, you know, forgive, a blessing of forgiveness, right? Forgive myself for past lives that I've had, or forgive others in the past lives that I've had, to be able to process it. And this came with the sea turtle. I'm going deeper, right? Now in the challenge position with these, we have align your life, what is not aligned or needs to change. So aside from confusion or delay with these upturn cards, this is actively a challenge. Right? I'm trying to figure out which pieces of me are me. What is the funhouse mirror showing me? Alright, so in the future, for work, temperance. So we have a crane here. At least I think it's a crane. Could be a stork. So we have temperance, which I feel really goes with this. This is 14, right? Going back to that friendship number, and the king number here. Balance, temperance, Sagittarius energy. So that's that south node again right now. And then also healing. So we have healing here, both in the future position, both addressing this pivot here. Okay. So I had 5, and I have 5 over here. So that totals 15, the devil. To me, this is indication of, well, first of all, Saturn retrograde again, but also sort of being released from the struggle. Now the sun's coming in inverted as well, 19, so it's like still moon energy. It's like in order to release yourself from the devil, you have to go into the darkness where, you know, you can see the goat is in the darkness. We're going through this portal. The sun inverted. Interesting. And then another bird, the Mother of Swords, so that's the Queen of Swords. And then the Two of Swords inverted. So this is like the other side of going through that sun portal into the darkness. right? It looks like the other side of this. Sun breaks down to 10. The devil breaks down to 6, which would be 7 total, which would be that chariot number. So I have... Interesting. So if this is 13, this breaks down to 6 as well. But it's like... It's saying, like, I'm not just going to be 2 of swords, learning how to see things from another side. I'm going to skip that step and go straight to the queen of the domain. I'm going to use this to transform myself from someone who's struggling to see things through this gateway to being queen of the castle, kind of. With this extremely powerful transformative energy. Notice that the resulting number over here is a 3. Why is it a 3? Oh, because this could be a 1 or a 13. But if we take the 2 from the 13, because the 2 is inverted, we have 11, which is that universal timing, or also the twin flame number. Okay, so we'll go into relationships, which is how you're doing stuff. So in the past, we have a blessing on your wisdom, 36. So that breaks down to 9. Was that? That was inverted. So 9 is Earth. What am I saying? Earth. Hermit energy, Virgo. But for some reason, I'm getting Virgo inverted energy for the last couple days. But this is illumination, because the moon here is now inverted, so that tells me sun energy. And this kind of reminds me of the yellow brick road. We have the owl here from the Queen of Swords. And we have this wolf down here as well, and then this crow over here, or perhaps a raven. A blessing on your wisdom. The hermit coming out of the cave. In the past. Or the hermit refusing to go into the cave, perhaps. Blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship. This is like twice this kind of energy's come out. Like, I need somebody to help me. I want to be validated. Right? If I try to be myself, nobody's going to like me. We have 4, foundational number, or the Emperor, combined with 0. This sort of knowing that there needs to be a new beginning, but unable to move from it. A blessing to heal a relationship, 28, breaking down to a 10. And this is inverted, right? So I'm lonely, I'm not going within, 13, 9, and 4, combined with a 10 down here. Strength and justice in the High Priestess inverted. Now, I do associate the High Priestess with Pisces, so that could be a reference to Neptune retrograde, but it also could be associated with the moon again. So I might have 2 moons inverted. Like a couple of months of flopping around, wondering why I'm by myself, irritated that this relationship isn't going well. Like, does that look like a good match? Not really. Okay, so we have the Great Gathering inverted. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits Soul Tribe. So this is inverted as well. Like, I'm confused. There's a delay in the present. Where's my people? Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Okay, so this is actually good. So we have this moon. We have what kind of looks like the Fool on his way down, or on their way down. This is also like the Hanged Man coming off the tree. This looks like the same lady, but now she's wearing like a nightie instead of her day dress. protection, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval, also inverted. So in terms of work, we're trying to get there. In terms of relationships, even though there's this awakening process happening right now, Pisces is sort of dragging their feet on calling in their own people and protecting themselves from that which is not of them, and calling back their energy, because they're sort of, it's like lovesick, or this ego that says, I only know what it's like to have people be emotionally unavailable, and I'm used to chasing that, or I'm used to pretending to be like other people and being unemotionally available to myself so that I can fit in. Alright, so in the future, Four of Cups, the Moon in Cancer. So this is the Moon card. I don't like any of these, but I'm not taking them. Like, this stuff tastes like rat piss. Ew. So we have Judgment 20 combined with the Three of Wands inverted. Alright, so this is Pluto energy demanding a transformation with this Three of Wands inverted. The Sun in Aries. So I have Moon energy again here. This is usually my ships are coming in, I can see the future clearly. And it's like, it's a lot like, where's my Sun portal? It's like this, but I don't want to go through the portal because I can't see it. So Judgment is calling to break open this chasm between darkness and the light, and there's kind of a resistance to movement. I have 3 and 4, that's 7 again. Like, the wheel isn't turning. The chariot's stuck in the mud. And then we have the Son of Pentacles inverted. Now this is a knight in this deck. Did I have a... Oh, okay. He's like a... This is like a... The guy is a deer and he's transformed into a man here. So you have the Moon, and then we have like a physical being in the woods with the crown chakra open. But this Son of Pentacles here with the Moon, with this pentagram here, also kind of in this zone here with the Devil with the pentagram. So we have a knight here, which is... Oh, we have a knight. There's the knight. This is usually the slow knight, but he could be this knight riding in quickly, right? I'm putting on speed to materialize this, right? The Hanged Man. Neptune energy, right? When I see a knight inverted, it also tells me the Hanged Man. So we have an Earth energy that's now in the Neptune energy, trying to manifest. It's like I'm trying to will it into being. There's my Knight of Pentacles. Leo in Virgo. So it's telling me the Sun in Virgo, but it has a Moon on the card. But when I turn the Moon upside down, it tells me Sun. So it's like Virgo upside down, Virgo this way, which is kind of confusing in and of itself. It's like I'm coming from the other direction, not the direction you think I'm coming from. So here we see for Pisces that most of the resistance to this life purpose is coming from the emotive sector. Like, how are you doing stuff? Dragging my feet. I'm driving down the road with the parking brake on. So let me get some charms for this romantic, or not romantic, relationship sector. Probably romantic because I got the Lover's card there. It's like popcorn. I think that's it. Okay. So over here on this work sector, this key landed on the Align Your Life. Now this actually looks like a wand. It's giving me 3 of Wands energy, which relates to over here, right? The key to unlocking all this stuff right now is working on aligning your life, what needs to change. You know, is there stuff that you have, that you're doing, things that you own, habits that you have that don't seem like they're the real you? So going the other way here, I have the telephone and this cowboy hat. To me, this indicates probably saddling up, right? I'm gonna, like, yeehaw, let's go. This is like I can't seem to get a signal. Well, maybe the way that you're trying to communicate is outdated, right? It doesn't fit the current technology. It doesn't fit the current vibration. I have the necklace over here. This week, this necklace is giving me the vibration of being like the necklace that Ursula used to steal Ariel's voice. It's like I'm using a voice over here that's not mine. Part of my work is to take the necklace off, which is why it didn't land on any of the cards. Okay. So, the snake, Danger Noodle, landed on this blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship. To me, this is representative a lot of the Kundalini energy. It's also a current, like an energy current. It's resonant, it's vibration. It's like a coil. It could also represent stored energy as well. It's like I'm and the snake landed up here like this. It's like I'm looking to outer sources instead of within for alignment and my own energy. Alright, so over here on this A Blessing to Heal a Relationship, I have the birthday cake, which would indicate some sort of celebration. And then I have this mushroom going the other way. And I kind of, it's giving me this idea of, like, I'm gonna get high and then I have the munchies. But the mushroom's going the other way. Like, I want to be right in the head when I can finally celebrate. I don't want my cake to be moldy when I eat it. Which could also give an indication of I want to hurry up. But now right over here between Judgment and this 3 of Wands is the eyeball. I can't see the future. 23 breaks down to 5. That's a pivot. That's a shift. But this eyeball was facing upwards, so it's the third eye. It's like I'm being called by the universe to open up my eye, my real eye. Alright, so for Pisces, the issue is really trusting yourself to let yourself into your inner self, to see who your real self is, so that you don't have to be emotionally unavailable to yourself and look for other people who are also emotionally unavailable to who you are as a person to reflect that back to you, to make you think that you're not alone. It sounds a little bit harsh, but that's what's in the paper here. So it's in the details. Alright, so if you want to get a personal reading, a lot of the readings here coming into this Virgo on top of the retrograde and nodes is really intense. It was really rosy and sunny for like 2 days, and then it's like turbo. Okay, so let me get this. If you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up there, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. If you're seeing this, you're already on Patreon. There we go. But if you'd like to further contribute, you can go donate paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. And I've got the merch and prints and coloring books and everything. And there's a post here on Patreon that has the link to and a download of the PDF here of my catalog, which has more stuff in it. And then I'll put the link to my infomercial down in the description, so you can go right to that and look at the description box of my infomercial video, which has a lowdown of all this information and also the prices for the tarot readings that I do and what those are as well. Alright, so stay groovy and we'll see you later. Bye.